Hello again, partners. Here we are at report number 71. This time around, my writer and researcher Dennis Daly tells me he's come up with one of the most unusual reports of the series. We're going to salute a man who lived until just recently, but who spent most of his life trying to be a good citizen by moving all the time. That's right, moving all. What are you talking about? Well, let's get to it. His name was Dennis Wiles. Wiles had a rather clouded past. He first showed up on the radar screen, as we say today, in California near the end of the Second World War. It was there that Wiles got a Social Security card. But in order to hide his past, he told the person at the desk that he had lost all of his identifications and he was an orphan. Both of my parents died when I was a child. I was raised in an orphanage. Well, that's not right, but let's just continue now. At this point, the saga of Dennis Wiles begins. We know that one of his first jobs was in Northern California at a logging camp. He received several construction jobs after this, but it was while he was in Northern California that one of those magic moments happened. All right, Jimmy, take some of the mystery out of your story. Thank you, I will. He lived in an area where there were huge snowstorms each winter. Dennis Wiles quickly discovered that even though he had never had a single lesson of skiing or been on a pair of skis in the snow, he was a natural skier. Well, quickly the word spread in Northern California, snow country. If you need someone to run an errand or a rescue mission in the snow, call Dennis Wiles. But it was in 1952 that Wiles and his amazing ski abilities made national headlines. You see, partners, a long-distance passenger train called the City of San Francisco got stranded in a blizzard on its way across the Sierras. Well, Wiles was called to help form a skiing rescue squad to take supplies to those stranded and cold passengers. Imagine they're freezing up there. Somebody's got to get them some food and clothes or something. His photo was on the pages of Time magazine, but he didn't want anybody to recognize him. What? Yeah, listen, partners, he was technically on the run from the authorities. He moved to Colorado. There he continued to be active in ski rescue work and was considered a valuable citizen. Jimmy, what's happening? Well, wait, it'll all come out in just a second. Years rolled by, and as retirement approached, he and his wife moved to Hawaii. No skiing there, but Wiles got active in civic groups, helping any cause that he could. But during all this time, Wiles had a deep, dark secret in his heart. And actually finally shared it with all of his friends. You see, Dennis was actually George Gartner, and he had been missing since 1945. Finally his partners and his friends said, hey, tell your story on television. He was invited to go to New York and appear on the Today Show. Well, it was on that show that he officially turned himself in to one of those hosts, Bryant Gumbel. Mr. Gumbel, he said, I'm here to admit that I've been on the run since I escaped from a lockup in 1945. No, wait, I'm not an AWOL from the Army. You see, Mr. Gumbel, I was a German prisoner of war. As far as historians know, I'm the last POW from the Second World War to turn himself in. Yes, George Gartner, Gartner, learned English very quickly while he was a prisoner of war in a New Mexico prisoner of war camp. So when he escaped, he was able to assume the identity of American. Not only that, he became a good American. He became a hero and a role model. For the first 10 years after he escaped, he had been hunted by the FBI, but now that he had turned himself in, they said, we don't have anything to hold you for, Mr. Gardner. You haven't done anything wrong. Well, after all, he was not an illegal alien. He had been brought here to the United States as a prisoner of war. And he had become a good, perfect American. George Gardner, alias Dennis Wiles, a man who was a rescue worker, a member of civic groups, and an ideal American who actually was a German prisoner of war, hiding his identity while becoming a model citizen and a patriot. Wow. Okay, partners, you know the drill. That was a surprise inning, wasn't it? Look up there at those three boxes at the right. And as you know, the one over the right has that big red X in it. Now all you do is just click on that one, and whoosh, you'll be right back to the report page for the rest of this week's comments. Boy, I don't know about you, but to me, our weekly reports get better and better. My special thanks again to all of you partners who've been so helpful with your tax-free contributions to our little foundation listed below. Tax-free, but boy, it makes it so much better for me to be able to go places and do things to bring you each week. Be sure to call the teachers and principals of the schools in your area and ask them to contact me about coming to their history and civic classes, telling my versions of special stories about America, which they no longer teach today in school. I love getting hugs from the students, and we always hold hands in a circle, closing our sessions with a prayer for one another and our leaders in Washington. God bless you. God bless America. You know in your hearts I really enjoy telling these stories on our videos. So let me say again, like I do, I love you. Go get 'em, Tigers!